Hey guys, I don't know what's different about the lighting today. Right about the time I got it down perfect, I'm using the same time of day and the same lighting, and I have these rays of sunshine. So maybe it's my halo. Anyways, welcome. Anybody there yet? Hey, so if one person, yay, someone's popping on. Anyways, I'm talking about my lighting. I don't know why it's different tonight, but just think of it as my sunshine. So glad you're joining me. Hey, this would be equivalent to our hump day. This is our 4th class, and we have 2 more to go. And I really appreciate you hanging in, and I really appreciate your feedback. Hey, a little bit of admin first. A few of you have contacted me about posting all the things I've talked about. I promise you I will. I really didn't want to post them until I'm done because it's already hard enough. People are trying not to watch these out of order. And I'm hoping, I renamed them all today. They're all going to be called Biz, B-I-Z, training, no space. And then I numbered them 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And I don't really want to add the stuff until everybody gets to see them. But if you email me, which I would prefer anyways, because then I have your email in front of me and I can just hit reply and hit the attachments, that would be great. Because when I go through and read the comments and you request stuff, I don't want to miss you. So that would be the best way if you could just email me. And just a reminder, it's Keyesky, K-E-Y-E-S-K-I, doTERRA@gmail.com. So anyways, that's my admin. Thanks for being here. I'm really excited. You know, every time we've done this, we've done a little review. So the review for today is, again, don't want to harp on it, but I'm reminding you of my book that I referenced called The Fred Factor. And he was just a mailman, but he was more than just a mailman. And I wanted you to think how that applies to you. And you're going to hear me say throughout, but that's also because I really, really believe it, that all of us are special just for who we are. And that when we operate in who we are, that we're the best and the strongest. So that's my encouragement to you. And then I felt like that there was some confusion over the sampling of before a class and some of the lingo, and I know I went over it kind of quickly too. So in a minute, I'm going to give you a few little examples of what you could say, and I promise, I do have it all typed up for you, and I will post it or email it to you. So you will have that, and I think that will answer all your questions. But main thing I want you to remember when we're sampling before and is to never sound desperate. Like, we're not desperate for people. We're not desperate to get them to come to our class, so don't sound desperate. And that we really are doing them a favor. We're sharing a better way of healthcare. That's certainly what we believe. We really do believe that it's cheaper, better, and more effective. And so with that said, don't sound desperate. And so a couple of things you could say is, hey, I have a week and my friend gave me some samples to give to 20 people, and I picked you because I remember you had whatever they had, backache, or I remember you haven't been sleeping, or I remember your child has been flipping out, and I have some remedies to help you with. So anyways, I have a week and my friend gave me some samples to give to 20 people, and I picked you because I remember you had. That's one thing you could say. Another thing you could say is, hey, you know how I'm into essential oils? What would you guys say if I said that? Of course, all my friends say, yes. I've seen comments on Facebook, or I've seen your excitement. So anyways, I'd say, hey, you know how I'm into essential oils? Well, I have this opportunity, and you came to mind, so I wanted to call you first. Then I get to give the opportunity to my friend that I have a sample to drop off for them. And the third option you might say is, hey, I have this cool opportunity. You came to mind first. Essential oils are safer, cheaper, and more effective, and I wanted to be able to share that with you. Can I drop off a sample for you? So that's 3 quick ways, and then I go into a lot more detail in the written scripts that I did. And again, I'm going to give credit where credit's due. Most of this has come from Elise Sedavi, and then other people, including myself, have put our own little taste on it, so you will do the same. Anyways, and then remember that you're just giving one sample, and you're doing that on purpose, not because you're stingy. You'll end up giving them as many as they want, but you're only giving them one because we're only dealing with one issue at a time. We're not trying to cure cancer here. We're trying to give them a sample of something that they will see an immediate fix for. So you're giving them one sample, and you're going to call first. So number one is you're going to call first, and then you're going to set up a drop-off time, and you're going to choose one oil because you know what they need or because they've already shared with you what they want to try and why. And then you're going to remind them, you're going to be like, hey, you know how not all over-the-counter drugs are the same, or not all drugs are the same because different bodies have different needs? Well, it's the same with essential oils. So I'm going to drop this off, and I'm going to call you and follow up in 2 days, because if this isn't the answer for you, I'm going to help you find what is. So there's really never going to be a bad response that way. So then you're going to wait 2 days, just like you promised them you would, and you're going to call and follow up. And that's super important. And we talked, I don't know, a class or two ago about follow up and how I also can be lame at that, and how important it is to write down who and what sample you gave and the date, and put it in your tickler file or whatever your pending file is, so that you really do call them in 2 days and say, hey, how did that work out for you? And remember, there's only going to be two answers. Yes, it worked great. Yay, thank you. Or no, it didn't really work for me. And remember, we're not devastated by that answer. We're not devastated at all by that answer. And we're like, totally, I get it. It's the same way with over-the-counter drugs. You know, some people like Tylenol. Some people like ibuprofen. Some people like Bayer or Motrin. So it's the same way with essential oils. It's not one fix for one person. So this didn't work. Let me drop this off for you. And then I'll call you in a couple days to see how it works, because I'm committed to you to find the solution for you. So that's just, again, being a really good friend and giving good service. So there is no bad response. Nothing that you would have to be surprised by or think, oh, what am I going to do now? You don't have to. You're really empowered because you know the oils work. And so it just gives you, remember we talked about touches, and the average person takes 2 to 8 touches before they commit to something anyway. So this just gives you an opportunity to have one more touch with them. So anyways, that's if it's the response is good. Remember we talked about the 4 classes that you are already going to have lined up before this. You're not going to invite them though when you drop off that oil. You're never ever going to invite them to a class when you drop off that sample. You're waiting until you have a positive response, a positive, yeah, this was great. Then you go, great, well, I happen to be having 4 classes in a week, and here's where they are. And that's where, remember, you already had assorted classes from AM and PM and from weekday and weekend. So anyways, if they have a bad, then that's what you said, well, that's great. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to drop off another sample, and then you're going to do that. So that's what you're going to do there. So just to recap, once you get them to a class, because now you've invited them, they have their positive experience, you've now invited them to a class, so you've done the sample, and then you did the follow-up call, then you had the positive response, so then you invited them to one of your 4 classes, and then you're going to call 2 days before the class to remind them. And then 2 hours before the class, you're going to text them and say, hey, I'm excited to see you. I have a surprise for you. You're going to say something like that. Don't forget to follow through. If you say you have a surprise, be sure and give them a surprise. Or say, hey, I have some for you. Come and find out. I can't wait to see you. Something like that. You're just going to text them a reminder. So you're doing these things to assure you a really good turnout and a really good response. So that's that. Again, I promise I will send you, I have 3 pages of detailed scripts that you can go over, and they're all quick and easy, and you can figure out the one that's best for you. So we're still on the review, but remember, they can't come to a class without a positive oil experience. That's what your goal. You want people that have already had a positive oil experience, and your whole intent there is you're really, at that point, you're just planning on signing them up and enrolling them. So that's really good. And remember that we usually want to invite 10 to at least be able to get 7 or 8 there. And the perfect scenario would be that you would have you and a helper at your class. Let's see. Don't forget the new thing, and I'm totally going to be doing this, is that we will always, at each class, we will invite them to stay for a very brief business overview that we'll do right directly after the class. Hey, you're welcome to stay for the brownies. If this is something you're interested in, we're going to do a real quick overview. And it is an overview. You're not going to be going into in depth at all at what the business opportunity is. You're going to be, again, just sharing it, touching on the money. You're going to do the in-depth example of the money when you meet one-on-one, but just an example of the money, an example of what it's done for you, an example of why the business has turned around and blessed you. So that's what really you're doing. And then that's it. Once you get them interested there, you're going to do a one-on-one where you're going to go over the time frame, what's really realistic, what do they want, where you're really going to be listening more to their needs of why do you want to do the business, what do you want to get out of it. You're going to be doing that one-on-one. So that's that. Okay, another thing that has been brought to my attention is, and I mentioned it on yesterday, but I want to go into detail, and I actually, you can't see it, but you will when I post it on my notes. I actually put little pictures, because maybe you're like me and you need to see a picture besides just having it spelled out. But, and then Lane commented last time is like, yes, doTERRA.com. I know and I believe it's underutilized. Not only is that a good resource for people that don't even know anything about the oils yet, because yes, they can go there and watch videos and all that, but us as business builders, there is so much there. So I want you to promise me that you'll, before tomorrow, it'd be great if you even spent 10 seconds there. I just want you to sign on, go to doTERRA.com, and then there's different places to go. I want you to go to advocates, because that's what you are. So then you go to, it says Our Advocates. You go there, and then from there it has a drop-down menu, and it has tons and tons of things. Here's what it has. It has brochures, ebooks, flyers, forms, images, presentations, questions and answers, and videos. Okay, well, on the presentations and on the videos, the work's already done for you. Whether you hook it up to a TV or whether you do what Carrie and I did a while ago, is we went to one of the presentations and we just took a picture, whether you print it or if you have an iPad, you just click the picture, take a picture, print them all out, and then we laminated them. And that way you have your very own flip chart, and that helps you when you're in places that don't have a TV. Like a lot of you know, I do classes at Summers Pass Farm, and I don't have a TV there, so it's nice to have a flip chart. And a flip chart is good even if you know it from the back of your hand, but if you're like me, a flip chart's good because it keeps you on track, keeps you from wandering, it keeps you from, you know I can do that, wander and talk too much or go off track. So that's why I like a flip chart. But really, go to doTERRA.com, Our Advocates, drop-down menu, and check out the things they have for you. I know, the reason I know that we don't know that is because I get so many questions that you would know the answer if you were there, and you would already look so professional if you would use what's already there. So just wanted to remind you to go there, and you can make your own presentations or you can use theirs. There's so much stuff already made for you, so just check that out. So now, that was all a big fat review. So tonight we were supposed to be talking about wellness consults and LRP. So I've already brought your attention before to two different handouts. One is the, I know it's backwards for you, but the Living doTERRA Naturally, and that would be found in the class in the box. We'll talk about that in a second. And the other one is also in the class in the box. Most of you are using this for your handout at classes, and that's this one where I said, you know, if you can read, then you can teach a class. So these are just ideas. You can do whatever you want, and you can do it on your own, but I can't emphasize enough the importance of doing a wellness consult. And one-on-one is awesome because you can really listen to people and see what their needs are and see how you can help them. But I also, when I was in San Diego, I did what I called learning in lattes, and I know Gwen does a thing like that, and Jolie does something like that, and you might call them different names, but that's good because you can have more than one new person in the room at a time, and you can deal with all the new stuff that you're going to go over. So let's talk about what you can go over for handouts. Okay, I know if you're like me, most of us, when we teach a class and use the handout, we always go to the front page, and that's how I said you could teach a class. And it's the number 1, what are essential oils, and then 2, why doTERRA essential oils, and then 3, how do we use essential oils? Well, I know for myself, and I think most of us, we're pretty much done after this first page, and then we just go into our own story, and then we just do the close and tell them how to get it. That's done, and then most people tear out the form and sign up, and that's great. You know, you do have your pages of the kits as well, and they check that. But they may or may not even take this paperwork home with them. But here's what I know most of us don't do, is if you turn it over to the second page, this would be incredible to use for a wellness consult. And you're probably going to have to copy more because most people aren't going to bring theirs back with them. And you certainly, you know, they're cheap. So remember I told you you can get 10 for $2.50. So you can certainly afford to buy them from doTERRA. But if not, just copy this one page. It's the second page. Like I said, most of us don't go over this in the class. But this is why. There's 4 more questions on there. You know, we always, like I just said, we do 1 through 3. But on the back side, it's number 4 is, how do I establish a foundation for optimal health? And then choose your supplements. And that's really our, because we don't go into this in classes, but here's our first opportunity to talk about the supplements, how great they are, what a value they are, that, you know, to replace just what's in the Lifelong Vitality, it would cost us $250, and we can get them for $79.50 if we buy the Lifelong Vitality 3-pack, or the Duo for $59.50. And then we can go right into, oh yeah, this is another benefit of LRP because I can add on 3 additional things at $20. And then it has customizable off to the side, and it gives you a lot of reminders of what, you know, the Foundation for Health is. So it's right there in front of you. And then it says, well, how do I improve my lifestyle? And it even has a space to fill this out. List your top 3 health goals. This is exactly what you want to go over with people. What are your health goals? And then it says, how long have you had these goals? And then it says, what products are you, what products could aid you in reaching your goals? This is giving you the perfect tools, the perfect questions, as I sit with you one-on-one, to find out what you need. And then it has a little commercial here for doTERRA Balance, and so that's a great way to introduce balance. And then number 6, how do I purchase doTERRA essential oils? Well, here you go. Here, another lead right into LRP, and you go right into the LRP benefits. And then number 7 says, what are the benefits of becoming a doTERRA member? So it gives you, it reminds you, it says wholesale prices, 25% below retail. And then it goes all into the different things. And then the number 8, I love this because it says, what path should I take with doTERRA? And so right there, it's my reminder to give my new person opportunity. You know, there's living it, sharing it, or building it. What does that mean? Well, living doTERRA is what, you know, 85% of people do. They just buy it because they're smart. They want it wholesale. They just love the product, and they're just going to use it. And then sharing doTERRA, well, that's a person who doesn't mind telling people because they can't help themselves. They're so excited about it, and, you know, they get a little kickback because of sharing, and they get their oils for free. And then it says building a doTERRA business. So it gives you the questions right here to lead right into that. So this is just one thing you can do. That's that option. I just wanted to point that out because, I mean, it was even me. I wasn't ever using this other side. So that's a great, great tool. Then back to if you use the Living doTERRA Naturally handout, then you can go all through this and you just read it together. And I like it because it says, again, how can I use oils? We know they've been to a class, but we always want to remind people the 3 ways to use them, you know, the aromatic, internal, and topical. And then it goes into a lot more information that we don't cover in the class about the testing and the farming, because we don't have time to do that at a class. So we get to do a lot more detail so they can feel really good about the choice that they made. And then it has, remember what I was telling you, the new book here, Living doTERRA, has 10 questions. The old one has 13. It doesn't really matter. You have 10 to 13 questions that you can ask, and those questions are going to help you solve their needs of what you should do. Now, being conscious to people's budgets and letting them also know this isn't you just trying to sell everything to them. By their answers, you can help set up, and Kathy Hunsacker has talked about this. She even made a Excel sheet that some people find helpful, and if you do, you can get that from her. But what the point of that is she's helping people set out product that they might want based on their answers of what they shared for the next 3 months. And like an example of that would be, we know and we love the On Guard toothpaste, right? It's incredible. But there's tons of us before doTERRA, myself included, my mom and dad, that, you know, bought the whole, what is it, a 12-pack at Costco. Well, so they don't want to get rid of the 10 tubes they already have in their closet. And even though we really believe ours is superior, we're not about just throwing away what you have, right? So we say, yeah, I get that. Same thing happened to me. So let's put that down on like the wish list column. And so then, you know, you could help them. Like that'd be something you put in the future. But then you just got done telling me that you are just not sleeping and you're having trouble sleeping. So that would probably be something we want to order like right in the first month, whether it's, you know, you've talked to them about Vetiver or Serenity or Cedarwood, those kinds of things. You're going to put those in the immediate column, immediate month. And then you're going to have a 2-month, 3-month kind of wish list. So those are just ideas of how you can work through that. And I also talked to you last time we talked about, you know, the whole goal would be to find 3 to 5 products that people can't live without, because we're all different, but how do we use oils in our daily routine? And then give examples how you do. What do you use in the AM? What do you use in the PM? And then just help them, like I said, space this out over the next 3 months. And don't forget, to remind them about cleaning, because I like to show people, at this point they're probably thinking, oh, money. So I like to point out what kind of savings they can get. And like I used to buy Windex and maybe spend $3, and now I make my own with lemon or wild orange, and I spend 40 cents. So give them some cleaning ideas. I always usually give them some cleaning sheets in my first follow-up so I can get them started and give them some ideas. Give them some diffuser recipes, give them some cleaning recipes, things like that. So there's cleaning, that you can do with the oils. There's the vitamins, there's the sleep issues, the pain management. I'm just kind of hitting on the main ones, and then mood, and then any of the moms need help with their kids. So those are the kinds of things you're helping them find solutions for. And then from there, now this is all in the one-on-one follow-up consults, whether it's the Consult 101 or the Learning in Lattes, whatever. Then you're immediately inviting them to 8 continuing education classes. And you'll see I've attached, well, you can't see it right now, but you will, when you get my printout, a little sample invite, and you can make your own. And then lots of people do punch cards. I know Jolie does this, but like you might have a punch card, and once they go through all 8 of the continuing education classes, they get a free gift, or they get some free oils, whatever it is you want to give them. And people like to do that. And the good news about the 8 repeating classes is it doesn't matter where they start. So they could start at class 3 and go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and go back to 1 and 2. So you're going to have 8 continuing education classes. And, I had 11 different ideas that I wrote down, and you would choose 8 of those. So you might even have your own ideas. But I like the punch card reward system. So that's kind of all what I would make sure I would cover in my first meet. And hopefully you wrote notes of just what you heard that they need. And it's really good because, again, we're not supposed to be the experts. We're just supposed to help find and point to the resources. We're not expected to be, and I think this is kind of a relief to us that I don't have to be the expert. But when I can tell them about doTERRA.com, and when I can tell them about the doTERRA blog and the doTERRA every day and the doTERRA University, and especially get them started on the app, the Daily Drop. Every single day they can get a reminder of what the oils do, and they can go in there and look stuff up. And then there's the Modern Essentials phone app. I mean, it's like $6.99, and it's so convenient. I love the book, wouldn't never be without the book, but I don't always carry that hard book around with me, of course. So for $6.99 I can have that Modern Essentials app. So point them the way and give them some solutions. So enough said about that. The second goal, obviously, is to get them on LRP. And I'm going to just keep harping on this, like I just really am. I really, really, really believe if you're at all nervous about talking about LRP, or if you at all think, oh, I don't want it to be a sales pitch, I don't want it to be MLM, I don't want this, I don't want that, I'm telling you, change your approach. And change your own mindset, because LRP is a good thing. It's a great thing. So I think the 3 most common questions people have, so let's help them with those right up front, is, why is it so good? Why do I have to have it? I don't see a reason. Why do I have to have it? And is there a minimum? Most people are all, that's their number 1 question. Is there a minimum, I have to spend? There's a lot of people are doing different things from makeup and skincare to clothes to, there's tons of things out there that are on auto ship, and it scares people to death because of the minimum they have to do. So anyways, talk about that. And then what if you cancel? Talk about that. So let's go over those one by one, each question. Why is it so good? So you might want to take notes, because there might be something in it for you. Anyways, why is LRP so good? Well, there's actually 5 reasons that I came up with. And one is, I've said this over and over, but that you pay sales tax on wholesale prices, versus if you just do a one-time order, you're going to pay sales tax on retail prices. So that's a big difference right there, especially if it's a good size order. But you're going to pay wholesale sales tax on wholesale, versus if you do a one-time order, you would pay sales tax on retail. So that's one thing. Number 2 is free shipping, 100% of your shipping back. And it's always good to remind people, I think it's definitely good to remind them that all of us get all of our freebies, rebates, whatever we get coming back to us is always after the 15th of the following month. Because remember, it's all about alleviating people. We're not tricking anybody. There's nothing underhanded. So tell them right up front, once a month after the 15th, we get our rebates. So anyways, you get 100% of your shipping back. And I always give for an example. For example, it's $3.99 is the cheapest shipping. But even if I did a $25 2-day ship, I would still get $25 back. It's whatever amount I spend, I'm going to get 100% of it back. That's really cool. And then there's the LRP only deals. There's quite a few of them, but for an example, the skincare set, the exact same anti-aging skincare, when I do it through LRP, I get a free product. I get 5 products instead of 4 for the exact same price. And then there's the lifelong vitality vitamins. Again, it'd be a $250 value if I had to replace all that was in there to get what's in there. Well, for lifelong vitality, wholesale, 25% off, is $79.50. But on top of that, I'm allowed to add 3 different products, and there's about, 8 to choose from or so. And I can have 3 of those, up to 3. I don't have to get 3, up to 3 for $20 each. And the best example I would say is that I love buying the Deep Blue polyphenol pills, and those are $59.50 wholesale. But I can add them to my Lifelong Vitality kit for $20. So that's a huge savings, and I can do that for up to 3 items. And then you get the free product of the month if you ship by the 15th, and that's where I remind people, because I don't want them to feel bad, but I just remind them up front. We all put things in our calendar that are important to us, so be sure and put in your calendar, edit your cart, about 2 days before whatever your ship date is, and then remind them you can change your cart as often as you like. I use mine kind of like a memo pad. I just keep changing it all the time, so please remind them that. And then the hugest thing is that we earn back extra points, and it spends exactly like cash, just like a gift certificate, that we start at a 10% rebate and we move all the way up to a 30% rebate. And then the fact that when we get to 30%, like where I've been at for 2 years, that's like getting my oils for 55% off because of my 25% wholesale price and my 30% rebate. So that's huge. So that's what I point out to people. So I hope you got those 5 things: sales tax, shipping, LRP only deals, product of the month, and extra points back that equates to cash. I see there's like 12 of you on right now because there's going to be something in there for you. Okay, so then they say, well, is there a minimum? So I always say no, but then I say no, but. The only thing I want to remind them is there is no minimum. However, I would never want you to accrue all these points and all these credit and then lose them. So just to stay, the privilege of staying in the LRP program, you have to spend $5, just anything, which would be like a lip balm. Do that. Or if if there's a favorite oil you use like lemon, it's only $10, buy a lemon. And yes, you have to pay shipping, but you get 100% of it back anyways. So, that's why I say just buy one thing, because at least if you spend $5, it won't grow your rebate, but it will keep you in the program. And so $5 stays. Just think of that. $5 keeps you. It stays keeps you in the program. Then if you want to grow your rebate from 10% all the way up to 30%, then you need to spend $50 a month. And like I told you before, you grow in 3-month increments, and they don't have to be 3 months in a row, but 3 times when I spend $50. Then I'm going to grow from 10 to 15, and then from 15 to 20, you got that. So that grows your rebate. And then, of course, the $125 a month gives you the free product of the month, and point out to them, the 15th. So you're just reminding them of all the magic numbers. And then, of course, it's the 100 for commission. But I really don't even, at this point, touch on that to a new person because they're not making commission. So it's not really that important to touch on the 100, but make sure you touch on the 5, the 50, and the 125. And then, of course, you could tell them that every quarter there's a $200 bonus, and you could talk to them about that. But just make sure you cover the main ones. And then make sure you tell them, don't cancel. And I like to be right up front and say, hey, I get it. We all have months that maybe we're really low on money or really feeling like it's a broke month. At least just spend $5 so you don't lose what you've already earned. You won't advance your rebate if you're still in that stage where you're advancing it, but at least you won't lose what you have. And it would be such a bummer to just go in and cancel, because you'd be completely wiped out and you'd have to start all over again at 10%. So that's what I would say to a person in my one-on-one or my wellness consult. Now, since we're all business builders here, as a business builder, you do know who you're safe to say this with. I do have a few people that I say, and you know, they understand, hey, you're part of my structure. And if you ever have a month that you're in trouble, please let me know. I mean, we all get there, and just alleviate their embarrassment that we all have those months, but I would just like to help you out that month, because then at that point, if they're part of your Power of Three structure, you know, it's much better for you to save their $100. Like, you're going to get the oil, so you just put in an order. So, you know, you just order something you need anyway. So just do that, and, you know, be sure you go over that. But you don't want them to cancel their LRP. And the worst thing is, and that's why I think it's so important to go over this with them, is because we know that we all get embarrassed if we're broke. And so just, if it's somebody that's in your Power of Three or somebody there, just tell them up front, please let me know first. I'd like to help you, or I'd like to you to allow me to put an order in for you. And I really don't know of anybody, pretty much, I haven't had anybody, and I really don't know many bad stories on that. So I think just being up front and having that conversation would really help you a lot. So anyways, let's see where we're at. I think we did really good. You might get off early tonight, because I really just wanted to talk about the follow-up consults, how important it is. I don't want you to underestimate the importance of that. And it's all about customer service too, finding out how you can help them. And then I really wanted to, I hope I can say this over and over and over, like, understand LRP and know the benefits. So with that said, remember I already gave in the beginning of this an Aroma Touch kit. And you know the great value of that. Well, whoever can go on. Yay, I'm my best advocate. Oh, yay, Heidi. She had her best advocate today cancel their LP. Oh, no, that's not a yay. I didn't read the whole thing. Oh, that is a sad thing. Yes. So hurry up and find out why. I'm going to tell you, I'm glad I read this. What I've seen already, and it's really hard because it's harder to save it after they've done it, but this is a great commercial for looking in your back office and seeing numbers. And you can go to your detailed genealogy and you can see more than a month. And this really tells a story. If you look back at someone's last 3 months, if you see, which does happen, 2 months in a row where it's the exact same amount of money, what this usually tells us is they didn't edit their cart, which then usually tells me they forgot, it's not important to them, they don't know what they're doing, or they just don't know what to do with the oils. So that's super, super important to, ahead of time, look in your back office, go to your detailed genealogy, go where it shows the last 3 months, and look for the numbers and how they're changing. I guarantee you this has always been the case for me when someone has the same, they didn't edit their cart. And then the worst part about that is they get frustrated saying, doTERRA just sent me stuff. Well, you know, and I know doTERRA doesn't just send you stuff. So that's when it'd be very good for you to call them up and say, hey, I noticed you had the same order and you probably didn't want that. So can I help you edit your cart, or can I help you? So that's a commercial for that. Another thing, by you doing these 8 continuing education classes and getting them, you know, you're covering really all the basics of how to use oils. That helps them know what to do with them, because otherwise it's when you hear the stories, well, I have these oils and I don't even know what to do with them. My oils are really building up. That's something you hear. My oil supply is really building up. That tells me they don't know what to do with them, because they shouldn't be building up like that. So anyways, sorry about that it happened to you, Heidi. That's too bad. Why LRP? Oh, someone's already going for it. Yes, because everybody who tells me the 5 things I said in your own words, at least if you can tell me 5 reasons that someone should be on LRP, 5 reasons for LRP, write it in the comment section. I don't care if I read it over and over and over and over, because you're all saying it. I will be one happy leader when I see you write 5 reasons you should be on LRP, and I had listed them all. If everyone who comes up with 5 reasons to be on LRP, I'm going to enter you in a drawing, and I'm going to give away another Aroma Touch kit, and I will give that away tomorrow night when we do the class. So anyways, I hope I didn't miss any comments. Oh yay, my daughter's on here. She's been off playing. Anyways, hey guys, love you. Thank you for joining me. I'm so proud of you, because this is like your 4th class you've attended, and we only have 2 more. And look, I got you out early. This one was like 34 minutes. It can be done. So anyways, comment any questions, anything I missed, because I am so excited to resource you. So talk to you soon. See you tomorrow night.